to the Professor's Classroom. This is Professor Miles speaking. Today's lecture has been, well, inspired due to my recent completion of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, as well as rewatching the original Dragon Ball series. And I've noticed from all the different theory videos I've come across from Quamin's Land, Black and Fist, Laughingstock Media, and even Seth the Programmer, and a few others I'm sure I'm missing, that while they have done amazing jobs at discussing and debating and theorizing many aspects of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and even Dragon Ball Super, I notice there's a few elements that still remain unresolved, and people are unsure of. Even these guys still like, which one? And after watching a few certain key videos, I was able to form my own theory. So I do want to give credit to that Seth the Programmer's video while Elzakai unlocking Goku's potential helped with this, because I do agree with what he said in it, and Black and Fist's video about the inherited gene theory for Goten and Trunks is also applicable. Now, in this particular lecture, I'm going to answer three main questions. Why did Gohan get so weak? Why has none of the Saiyans' tails, with the exception of Goku, grown back? And how can Goten and Trunks go Super Saiyan so easily? As well as why can they in their fused form, Gotenks, go Super Saiyan 3, and yet Vegeta and Gohan and Future Trunks never showed this ability? And I'm going to answer those because I actually think I know why and how it works. And if this is accepted, and this is true, everything actually does make sense. Now, before I answer those directly, we have to first understand Saiyan biology, pure-blooded Saiyan biology, and what differences there are. Now, granted, I have glimpsed only through the manga. Can't say I've read it completely. I've never seen Dragon Ball Super yet, so there might be things that could answer some of these questions and make this debunked already. So if that is the case, anyone who's listening sees that, please by all means let me know in the comments. But based on the Bardock special, the first one, where you just see Planet Vegeta before it's destroyed, we get an idea of how Saiyans are in their, besides our exceptions, Goku and Vegeta. And we notice that, and I know that this is not necessarily, maybe not canon, it could be, it may not be, I like to think that it is. But we notice that when Goku is born and Bardock goes to see him, that Goku's power level is a level of like 2 or 3. Yet Bardock was clearly above power levels 2 or 3. Yet when Gohan was born, he definitely had a certain boost of power. But why is that? Well, simple. Children, when pure-blood Saiyans are born, children are typically born in the same class level as their parents. While there could be exceptions, just like any species out there, mutations, broadly. Generally, Bardock was a class 3, Goku was born as a class 3, which means Bardock mostly was born around the similar power level. Zenkai boosts help, but they really only give a major boost when a Saiyan comes back from a near-death experience. Saiyans retain their youth and strength more so than humans during periods of rest or no training, and of course, keep it longer. Saiyans have 2 transformation paths, the Great Ape, Golden Ape, and Super Saiyan 4 path, and then of course Super Saiyan 1 through 3. God Key's separate because anyone can tap into it, and it doesn't really change anything about this. And tail regrowth the Saiyan can go without regrowing their tail for a long period of time, as Goku demonstrated on at least 2 occasions in Dragon Ball. Now, that's the basics of Saiyan biology that really stick out. And the reason these points stick out more so is because the human Saiyan offspring have shown to be different. The children's strength is not determined by the class level where they start out, but by the strength of the Saiyan parent, meaning that when the parent is stronger, the kid starts out stronger, with much greater potential. But, big but here, if they don't use it, they lose it like a human, meaning they have to keep training it, and they can't, so when Gohan goes 7 years without training, he gets weaker. If a Saiyan went 7 years without training, he might get a little bit weaker, but most likely not as weak. Now, granted, the whole lesson of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and all that is that if you work hard and you work towards it, you can accomplish great things. But Saiyans have a little bit of an advantage, but Half-Saiyans don't have that advantage. They're like us humans. We don't lose it. We don't use it. We lose it. Also, based on the Elder Kai unlocking ability, Gohan's mystic or ultimate form looked like Super Saiyan 2 with black hair, which leads me to believe, and because of Seth the Programmer's one video about Super Saiyan 3 Goku with black hair being his unlocked form, that a full-blooded Saiyan can reach Super Saiyan 3 while a half-Saiyan cannot. Now, Goten and future or present-day Trunks are an exception to this, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Now, this does not mean that they can't train and their power levels can't rival a Super Saiyan 3 or even God Ki as Super, I think, has demonstrated, and that's the overall lesson of Dragon Ball and the whole franchise. But the rubber band effect from a human Saiyan hybrid, Gohan demonstrates throughout the series. He has this amazing potential. He gets these training periods, he boosts up, he hits his peak. He can keep going. But instead, he chooses not to train, so he snaps back. A Saiyan had done that. A full-blood Saiyan, he wouldn't have snapped back as much. It's more of a consistent, but they don't have that head start power boost. Now, this would explain exactly why Gohan got so weak. He didn't train, so he snapped back. Now, not saying he can't train to get right back where he was or get close to it. He would just have to go through the steps. Now, the tails. Goku lost his tail through a deal with Kami. This much is certain, that's why his never grew back. But Vegeta, future Trunks, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. Well, let's take present-day Trunks and Goten out of the equation for a second. Gohan and future Trunks and Vegeta should easily have had tails and have grown back. Vegeta more so. Well, what happened? Well, their tails got cut off, and normally they would have grown a tail back, except perhaps the Super Saiyan transformation suppresses it, and that's what I really believe. That when you get to a certain point and you unlock that because the Super Saiyan is an ascension, it is a transformation, it's ascending past that primal power that the Great Ape Path possesses. That the tail doesn't need to be in the way anymore, so it won't grow back if it's been removed. Which would take away that weakness for most normal Saiyans, not the elitists or those who train to not have the weakness of the tail, but to me that would be the most, explain everything of why Vegeta his tail never grew back, because he got Super Saiyan. He didn't need the Great Ape form anymore. So his body genetically just said, don't grow back. Goten and Trunks, if this theory is correct, modern day Trunks, they would never grow in their tail. And Gohan, because eventually he did exceed and did reach it, his tail would never come back. Even though I think his should have grown back before then, that kind of weakens this theory a little bit. But if you accept that the Super Saiyan's transformation suppresses tail regrowth, it would explain all the Half-Saiyans and all the other Saiyans besides Goku. Now, Goten and Trunks are probably by far the biggest mysteries in regards to the show. Why they can access Super Saiyan so easily, and why as a fused form of Gotenks they went Super Saiyan 3. Now, it is generally believed that Vegeta could tap into Super Saiyan 3 if he felt like it, but honestly feels that the form is too dangerous to use, as the Super Saiyan Grade 3 or Ultra Super Saiyan 4 has shown how it's its advantage, and Goku has already discussed its advantage of Super Saiyan 3. He most likely have chosen not to do it. But Goten and Trunks, though, why them? Well, there is an adult comic that does joke about what happened during the 7 days before the Cell games. And while it's a joke, we can actually accept it to be canon in a way, because Goku has maintained his Super Saiyan 1 transformation in his natural form, as a relaxed state, during those entire 7 days. It's confirmed he conceived Goten during that time. Now, since Super Saiyan is indeed a transformation, his genetics would be different, which means Goten should be Super Saiyan is more of a natural form to him, he would be able to access Super Saiyan easily. Same thing with present day Trunks. If Vegeta happened to be in the same state during that time, this would work. Now, future Trunks had to fight to get Super Saiyan, had to have Gohan die to make it happen, which means Vegeta hadn't done in that timeline. So if it's accepted for Goten, except for present day Trunks, it makes the most sense. But why does that explain why they can go Super Saiyan 3? No, it's simple. Because Super Saiyan is more of a natural form for them. They have access to the full 3 levels. Granted, the fusion form allowed them to reach it sooner than they had spent years upon years of training, which I firmly believe that Goten and Trunks, if trained, could unlock and could use Super Saiyan 3 separately and not just in their fused form. But hey, just some theories that conclusions I've come to. What do you think? Do you think I have anything to stand on? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Maybe you have some information from the manga or Dragon Ball Super that could, well, maybe debunk it or confirm it. Anyways, thanks for listening. Of course, shout out again to Kwame's Land, Black and Fist, Half-Saiyans Media, and Seth the Programmer, and the rest of you guys out there who do all these great videos and theories. I love them. Very enjoyable. In fact, it inspired me to do my own. And if I come up with anything else to help further prove this, I'll make a part 2. If not, this has been a lecture from the professor's classroom. Have a good one.